Welcome, everybody. Sports Stuff Hub Live, episode 53 begins now. Wednesday, October 26th. October is almost over. We're damn near into wintertime already. This is crazy. 2021 is flying. I expected this year to kind of simmer a little bit. I didn't think it was going to just pick up and go like this. And here it's already October. We're in the fourth quarter. We're in the fourth quarter. This is crazy. In one night, we have football season still going, football season in full swing. Basketball season has now started, and we have baseball still going. We have the World Series started tonight. It's already going. But and hockey. We have four sports going all at once. All four major sports are going all at once. This is insanity. This is the peak of sports right now in October. This is what we missed last year in 2020. We did not have any given point in the year of 2020 that we had all four sports going at the same time. Think about that. This is the first time since 2019. And I love it. I don't particularly watch a lot of hockey, but I'm going to get into it heavier now that we have the Kraken here in Seattle. And that was one of the reasons why I didn't really watch hockey. I watched it more when I was in high school. And when I was in college, when I was living in the Midwest, because obviously we had the Minnesota North Stars when I was younger. We had the Minnesota Wild when I got older. I did enjoy watching hockey back then. Kind of fell out of it during the strike and never really got back into it. And then I moved here. And there wasn't really a big hockey presence. Yeah, we had the Vancouver Canucks up north, but Seattle wasn't really hockey town. Seattle wasn't really support Vancouver type of town. So now that we have the Kraken here, I'm excited. They got their first win. I believe they're 1-4. I honestly don't know. I don't even think they're that far into it. I thought I heard that on the radio this morning. But anyway, the Kraken are in full swing. And they had their home opener, and I heard that was absolutely electric, and I cannot wait to actually go to a game. I have been holding off on going to games during all the COVID whatnots, just because I don't fully know my wife and I went to a concert at T-Mobile Park a month and a half ago, and obviously I was at the National, I was at the Industry Summit. I will admit I'm a little nervous to go to a sports event because you tend to be more packed in. The concert was kind of my first real since COVID started, so I'm a little nervous to go to a sports event, but I'm gonna do it. I plan on going to a Kraken game because I don't believe I'm going to be going to a Seahawks game this year, unless all of a sudden I get some really good deal on tickets, and maybe we will go. But and I do enjoy basketball. I do watch basketball. I don't have a particular team that I root for. I root for individual players. And baseball, I love the Mariners. Absolutely love the Mariners. I don't really watch much of anybody else. And so, watching the playoffs, I did not watch a single playoff game. I fully admit that. Take away my fan card, all you want, I don't care. I'm a Mariners fan. Outside of that, doesn't really appeal to me a whole lot. Yeah, I have some individual players that I enjoy watching. I love to watch Fernando Tatis. I love to watch Acuna. Soto, a lot of these young guys. Watching the White Sox, I did watch a little bit of White Sox this year when they got both Eloy and Luis Robert both on the field at the same time. And Vladdy, I like watching the young talent. I really do. I do. And Ohtani, obviously. How can you not enjoy watching Ohtani play baseball? So, yeah. I watch baseball, but again, I'm a Mariners fan first and foremost, and I don't really watch a lot of the other stuff. But I will watch some of the other young players play. Now, I don't sit there and watch every single game of every single baseball series. I don't. And I don't really watch the playoffs because the Mariners aren't in it. And to be all honest with you, the only thing that the playoffs ever does for me personally is increase or decrease the value of any cards that I currently have. That's really all it does for me. And I don't really get satisfaction out of watching all the other teams that the Mariners should have beat or could have beat or lost to in outstanding fashion in the ninth inning. I don't enjoy watching them in the playoffs. Call me a bitter fan all you want. Go for it. But I don't really watch postseason baseball unless the Mariners are there. And they haven't been there since 2001. So there you go. And then obviously the NFL. That is my number one sport. That is my number one by leaps and bounds. If I had to pick one sport to watch that I could only watch for the rest of my life, it would be football. If I had to pick one and give up every other sport known to man, and I could only watch one sport for the rest of my life, it would be football. And I don't give a crap how bad people like Goodell or the rest of the owners F things up. I will still watch football. I love football. I love playing football. I love watching football. I love being a part of football. And that's something that will never go away. If the NFL were to disband, I would simply find another league to watch, whether it was the CFL or the XFL when it comes back or whatever. I don't care. I enjoy football, and I will watch football. And there you go. But yeah, so we have all four sports going on right now. This is incredible. It's fantastic to see. We're in the fourth quarter of 2021. October is almost over, and we're getting into the holiday season. And we have a lot that has happened. As I mentioned, tonight started the World Series. The Braves versus the Astros. And I know a lot of baseball fans are not thrilled with the Astros being in the World Series. A lot of baseball fans are still triggered over the scandal, the trash can scandal with the Houston Astros. Did you like how I threw that in there? I personally, it is what it is. I've moved on past it. It didn't. What the Astros did may or may not have done. It didn't affect the Mariners making the playoffs. To be quite honest, they weren't going to make it there anyways. So, it is what it is. With the Braves making it, I know the Braves were not slated to make the playoffs or, well, obviously go to the World Series if they weren't slated to even make the playoffs. And I know some people have said, a few Seattle Mariners beat writers and social media voices have said, to finish the season, the Astros had less wins than the Mariners, and the Mariners had 90 wins and whatnot. And the Braves, not the Astros. The Braves had less wins than the Mariners, and they're going to the World Series. Yeah, I don't care. Doesn't matter. The Mariners didn't do what they needed to do to make the playoffs. Therefore, the Mariners didn't go to the playoffs. Simple as that. The Braves did what they needed to do to get into the playoffs. I'm one of those people where, wild card or not, record or not, if you don't accomplish what you need to do to get into the playoffs, You don't deserve to be there. I know a lot of people who sit there and like, well, this team that didn't make the playoffs had, football for example, 3 more wins than this team that did make the playoffs. Yes, well, that team that had 3 less wins also won their division. It doesn't matter if it's a bad division. They still did what they needed to do in order to make the playoffs. That's what matters. You can't line up, or you can't dictate who you play each season, and you can't dictate who's in your division each season. Your division is your division. Whether you're football terms, whether you're the NFC East or the NFC West. The NFC East was all sub 500 last year. They sent a team to the playoffs that was sub 500 that damn near beat the soon-to-be Super Bowl champions. The Washington football team won the NFC East with a sub 500 record last year, while other teams did not make the playoffs with a 500 or better record last year, and yet the Washington football team damn near beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the first round. So, again, you do what you need to do to punch your ticket to the playoffs. You can't worry about what other divisions are doing, what other teams are doing. You got to focus on you. And for people to bring up the whole, well, Atlanta had 2 less wins than the Mariners did on the season. I don't give a crap. The Mariners also lost a ton of games that they should have won. They got no hit twice, and they gave up multiple games in the 9th inning with a multi-run lead. So that right there tells you they didn't deserve to be in the playoffs. Yeah, they won 90 games. They won 90 games. Fantastic. That's a huge accomplishment for a Mariners team that was not supposed to be that good. And they were a fun team. They were a fun team to watch play baseball. They really were. And does it suck that they didn't make the playoffs? Yes. But they didn't get the job done. And I can't be mad at the Braves for winning 2 less games than the Mariners and punching their ticket to the World Series, because they did what they needed to do. They got it done to beat the teams that they needed to beat. And that's all that matters. That is all that matters. So, Braves and Astros in the World Series started tonight. Basketball's in full swing. We have an undefeated Chicago Bulls team. 4-0 Chicago Bulls team. No, this is not a 1-0 Chicago Bulls team. This is a 4-0 Chicago Bulls team. This is a 4-0 Chicago Bulls team that last year did not make the playoffs. That last year was one of the worst teams in the NBA. 4-0. And the only thing that they did was get DeMar DeRozan and Lonzo Ball. And now they're winning games. They're winning the games that last year they were losing. And we're talking about guys that are on their roster that aren't even playing. Kobe White hasn't even stepped on the court. And he's supposed to be their guy that comes off the bench and leads the second team offense. He's supposed to be the guy that leads their bench. When he was a rookie, he had multiple 30-point games coming off the bench because he's a shooting guard. And this is a guy who's supposed to be putting up points, and he's not even on the floor yet. He's not even on the floor yet. So imagine when he comes back and he comes in and is able to play shooting guard, because when he was at point guard last year, and everybody says Kobe was a flop. Second year, he flopped. No, Kobe didn't flop second year. No, we're talking Kobe White, not Kobe Bryant. Kobe White did not flop second year. Kobe White got put into a position that he's not comfortable with. Kobe White got put over to point guard last year. And Kobe White's not a point guard. Kobe White's a shooting guard. But the Bulls have Zach Levine. Kobe White did well his rookie season as a shooting guard when Zach Levine was hurt. Now Zach Levine is healthy and playing 37 minutes a game, and Kobe White doesn't get to play shooting guard. So, Kobe White will likely get traded. And he's a very good shooting guard. He's not a very good point guard. So, a guy like that, when he comes back healthy to start the season, and he comes in and leads the second team, or if Zach Levine gets hurt, and they put Kobe White in a shooting guard, because now they have a point guard with Lonzo, and then Kobe White can be Kobe White. Or he's just going to get traded and be good somewhere else. The kid is too talented. He really is. He's just not a point guard. He's a shooting guard. The offense can't be dictated by him. He's he needs to be the one getting the ball, not the one distributing the ball. And that was where he struggled last year. He's not the run the offense. He's the one the offense has to go towards, not the one that has to start the offense. So anyway, we have a 4-0 Bulls team. Now, yesterday, I saw a video online of some massive dunks. And one of them in particular was a former Chicago Bull that I had a lot of hope for when he got drafted in 2017, was Lauri Markkanen. And Lauri Markkanen is now with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Cavaliers played the Nuggets last night. And Lauri Markkanen posterized last year's MVP, Nikola Jokic. Posterized him. I mean, it was complete. Jokic tried taking a charge. That did not work. And Markkanen went right over top of him. Markkanen broke up the pass on defense, got the ball, drove down the court, and jumped on top of Nikola Jokic and dunked it on him and posterized him. And it was pretty good. I enjoyed watching that. I'm not a Jokic hater. I'm not a Jokic fan. I'm not a Jokic hater. But I did enjoy seeing Lauri Markkanen get his name in the spotlight a little bit for once. Because he's been injured so much in Chicago. I just hope he can make it through the entire season with Cleveland. I think Cleveland could actually be pretty good. With Markkanen and Sexton and Garland and didn't Jared Allen get traded there? I mean, that's a good lineup. That's a good lineup. I think Cleveland could actually be pretty good. Now, one of the things I do want to bring up, because this is a big basketball show, I saw a video this morning. Obviously, it got put up last night. Last night, the Minnesota Timberwolves played was it the Magic? Now I gotta look again. No, it was the Pelicans. Sorry, it was the Pelicans. I was like, I thought it was a red jersey. The Minnesota Timberwolves took on the New Orleans Pelicans, and I like the Timberwolves. I'm from Minnesota. Grew up in Minnesota, I should say. And I don't mind the Timberwolves. I like Karl Anthony Towns. I think he's got a lot of talent. I think Anthony Edwards is extremely talented. And they've got a good team. I don't think it's a very well-run organization, and I don't think it's a very well-coached team. But D'Angelo Russell being added to the mix, who's a very good friend of Cat, I think makes a lot of sense, and I think they could be a solid team this year. What happened last night, and I haven't watched the full video yet, and I want to, but I think all it's going to do is just reassure my stance on this. I don't know jack squat about Patrick Beverley. I've never really watched him play. But after this video came out last night, I've read multiple comments about how he's got swag and he's a tough guy and how people like his attitude and stuff. And what happened last night kind of pissed me off. Because this is not how you do it. So, I don't know how you say his name. Jonas Valanciunas, I think is how you pronounce it. He's the center for the Pelicans, or plays center and forward. And he goes to the line to shoot a free throw. And according to this video, Patrick Beverley, during Val's time to shoot, as he's going to get lined up, goes and stands at the free throw line in the way of Val, so he can't even line up. And Val gives him a little, just kind of a you can kind of see it, it's a minor, just kind of, hey, I'm trying to line up here. And Beverly pushes him back, leans into him, and so Val then just like full on, tries to check him away. And I'm just like, and then Patrick Beverley turns to him, like wants to square up. And by the way, Val is like almost a foot taller than Patrick Beverley. Well, maybe not quite that much. 6 to 8 inches. And I'm like, number one, dude, you're going to get rocked. But I'm just like, dude, you're the dumbass that was not standing in the right spot. You were literally standing where you shouldn't be. You were standing on the free throw line where the shooter is supposed to be lining up, where you are not supposed to be. Now, I read in the comments that Val was given a technical. I did not read anywhere where Patrick Beverley was given a technical. And my opinion on this matter is that Beverley should have been given a technical for impeding Val's ability to line up at the free throw line. Because as a player on the court, when somebody is going to line up for a free throw, you cannot stand there. That is not anywhere you can see. You can't be in that box. So I don't get the situation. But the other thing that frustrated me, the announcer on, I don't know if this was on TNT or what, the announcer of the broadcast that this clip came from, one of the guys said, I like this side of Pat Beverley. What? You like the side where he blatantly stood where he's not supposed to stand on a free throw, and then when he was nudged to move, gets all pissed off and gets in the big man's face? Well, more like gets in his chest. But it's like, he's not within the rules of where he's even supposed to be, and you are now supporting that swagger, that mentality of defiance. That doesn't make sense. That is literally like saying, I want my guy to walk out onto the court, push a player over, and shouldn't get fouled, and I like that swagger. I like that mentality. That is the exact same thing. And so for the announcer to come out and say, I like that about Pat Beverley, is the dumbest thing I've heard on a broadcast since, well, probably since the last time Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football or any of the announcers on a primetime broadcast, to be quite honest with you. But the fact that Patrick Beverley wasn't given a technical immediately for standing there blows my mind. Now, again, I have not watched the full context. For all I know, Patrick Beverley was standing there the entire time and just never moved, and nobody else was lined up. I don't know. I haven't watched it yet. And I probably will, but just watching this video again, it's on my lap right here. Val goes, and I mean, he was literally trying to line up for his free throw. And so I don't know how much time this took place in all of this. It's just a bizarre thing. It's just bizarre. And so, yeah. All right, moving on. Before I get frustrated, I will watch the full clip. I promise you guys that I will watch the full clip, and maybe I'll talk about that next week. Let's talk some NFL. let's talk some NFL. Week 7 is wrapped up. What do you guys think so far? We've had a hell of a season already. We're 7 weeks into it. And we're already seeing the demise of the Kansas City Chiefs, the demise of the Seattle Seahawks, the rise of the Cincinnati Bengals, the rise of the Arizona Cardinals. We are seeing teams that were expected to be the cellar teams, the basement teams, leading their divisions, and the teams that were expected to be leading their divisions in the cellar. It is bizarre. We literally are sitting here with a Cincinnati Bengal-led AFC North because of the bye week. The Steelers are sitting in last place. Complete opposite from last year. Here, get a load of this. In 2020, the Steelers won the AFC North. The Ravens were the number 2, and the Browns were the number 3, with the Bengals in last. The Steelers and the Bengals have literally switched position. That is bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. We're sitting here with an NFC West led by an undefeated Cardinals team, with the Rams at number 2, the Seahawks at number 3, and a questionable Niners team in 4th. We have a Las Vegas-led AFC West, with the Chargers at number 2, I believe, just because of the Monday night game. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to double check this real quick, but I am fairly positive that the Raiders are in first right now. I am correct. The Raiders are 5-2 because the Chargers were on bye last week. The Raiders are 5-2, leading the AFC West. The Chargers at 4-2 at number 2. The Chiefs are in 3rd, and the Broncos with an equal record at 4th. Nobody would have expected the Chiefs to be 3rd in their division after 7 weeks. Nobody. Now, the AFC East, sure, yeah, a lot of people slated the Bills to be first. Patriots second. Jets and Dolphins are slugging it out for worst in the division and potentially worst in the NFL. I mean, the Jets just got obliterated by the Patriots. The Patriots hung a 50-burger on the Jets this weekend. And now it looks like Zach Wilson's going to be out for several weeks, and Mike White is going to come in. Mike White, who I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, spent some time with the Dallas Cowboys a few years ago. Go look for his rookie cards, because he actually didn't look too bad. And then in the AFC South, it's kind of the same way it was last year. The Titans with the Colts number 2, and the Colts are surging back. How about that? The Colts won back-to-back games and are now only 2 games under the Titans. And Carson Wentz is looking good because he realized he doesn't have to play Superman to win games in Indianapolis because they have a loaded roster. The Indianapolis Colts actually have a very talented roster. Now, they also have only had 1 game this season where they've had all their offensive weapons at their disposal. Because T.Y. Hilton is now going to miss a couple more games, I guess with a hip injury or quad injury or something. And it sounds like we might miss Paris Campbell again for a week, I think is what I heard. But that's a really good team. And then you have Jacksonville and Houston, another 2 teams battling out for worst in the division, both 1 wins. And then the NFC East, who last year was a joke, no team above 500. And now we have a 5-1 Dallas Cowboys, led by a healthy Dak Prescott. And then 3 2-5 teams Washington, Philly, and the Giants, who a lot of people thought Philadelphia was going to potentially fight for the division lead this year, be an above 500 team. And I will say, watching them play, they've got heart, they've got fight, but I think a lot of the issues still are their head coach. Even after the Doug Peterson era is over, you have Sirianni comes in and just blows my mind the usage of the weapons that they have. Miles Sanders, multiple games, was an absolute ghost, even though he was their most talented offensive weapon. And then in situations where they really need to be throwing the ball, they don't. Now Miles Sanders looks like he's going to miss a week, at least. And now you got Boston Scott and Kenneth Gainwell, the rookie, who Gainwell looks very good receiving out of the backfield. And I did say in the preseason, or in the before the preseason even started, a sleeper to watch out for was Kenneth Gainwell if Miles Sanders struggles or gets hurt. Gainwell's a very talented running back. But if Sirianni can't use him properly, you're going to see more struggles. The NFC South, Tampa Bay leading that one. A 4-2 Saints team that just beat the Seattle Seahawks last night. A Geno Smith-led Seattle Seahawks, by the way, in a low-scoring, very questionable game that Seattle could have won, but missed 2 field goals. You can't put that on Geno, but again, Geno in the fourth quarter did what Geno does. He took a couple of bad sacks. Hard to win that game. Atlanta's coming back. They're 3-3, and Carolina's sitting at 3-4. After going 3-0 to start the season, Carolina is now 3-4 because Carolina is not that good of a team. Just like the Denver Broncos, Carolina played some really bad teams, and they may be good. They might be good, better teams now, but they were playing really bad football in those first 3 weeks. Really bad defense. And it made Sam Darnold look good. Plus, they had Christian McCaffrey back then. And now, just like last year with Teddy Bridgewater didn't have Christian McCaffrey after the first week of the season. Teddy Bridgewater looked good in week 1 last year with the Panthers. And then Christian McCaffrey got hurt, and he stinks. Why? Because that offense is centered around Christian McCaffrey. And Matt Rule has not changed that offense. And so the quarterback is going to struggle. Called it last year. It wasn't Teddy Bridgewater's issue. Teddy has done perfectly fine in Denver this year. He's looked pretty dang good. Sam Darnold, when he had Christian McCaffrey lined up in the backfield, looked pretty good. Last couple of games, not so much. Now he's being talked about as one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL again this year when Christian McCaffrey's not on the field. Sam Darnold's not a game changer. He needs complementary pieces. So, Panthers are going to struggle without Christian McCaffrey because Matt Rule can't change his game plan. He's going to run the offense just like Christian McCaffrey being there, and they don't have Christian McCaffrey there. They just don't. When he's hurt, that offense struggles. When he's there, yeah, they're great. But Matt Rule won't change his offense. Then you have the NFC North. The Green Bay Packers got walloped by the Saints in week 1 and then go on a 6-game win streak. And now they're one of the best teams in the NFL. And they go and play this Thursday night against the only undefeated team left in the NFL, the Arizona Cardinals. And they're going to lose their defensive coordinator to COVID this week and Devontae Adams. Who else are they going to lose to COVID? They've got 2 days. Devontae Adams can't pass. He cannot clear. He's out. He's out. He cannot clear in time. Today's Tuesday. They play in 48 hours. He cannot clear in time. So, Aaron Rodgers loses his best weapon. Now, Arizona's got a good overall team. Can Green Bay do enough to score and keep up with the Cardinals, because the Cardinals' offense, once they get cooking, they are tough. Yes, thank you, Miller. Lazard is out, too. Defensive coordinator's out. Lazard is out. Devontae Adams is out. Now, everybody's going to write off the Packers in this game. This is what you call a trap game. Because there are a few quarterbacks in this league who can win despite their weapons being on the bench or not dressed or just hurt. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. We'll throw him in there. That's about it. That's about it. Any other team in the NFL, any other quarterback in the NFL is going to struggle. We've seen Patrick Mahomes without his weapons, without an offensive line. We've seen Josh Allen without that. Doesn't work. We've seen Baker without it. Doesn't work. We've seen Deshaun Watson without it. Doesn't work. We've seen Justin Herbert without it. Doesn't work. We've seen Kyler without it. Doesn't work. Matthew Stafford without it. Doesn't work. Ben Roethlisberger without it. Doesn't work. There's no other quarterbacks in the game today because Brees is retired. Peyton's retired. Phillip Rivers is retired. What other quarterbacks would be in that conversation? Nobody. So, can the Packers, can Aaron Rodgers lead that team to beat the undefeated Arizona Cardinals at full strength, by the way? Yeah, he could. This is what I'm saying. It's a trap game. And this could very well be a trap game. Don't get too cocky and don't get too comfortable in thinking that this is going to be an easy game for the Cardinals because of those pieces missing. This could be bad. LaFleur is pretty good with his offensive game plans, I will admit. I'm not a huge LaFleur fan. I'm not a Packers fan. But this could be a fantastic piece of work by Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur. We'll see, though. We've got 48 hours. We have 48 hours to figure this out. And then we'll see. So yeah, Green Bay Packers 6-1, Vikings at 3-3, then the Chicago Bears and the 0-7 Detroit Lions, who it's heartbreaking. I have never wanted to see a team that I don't root for win so much in my life. Because I have no vested interest in the Detroit Lions. Zero. But that team has heart and grit, and they've got the moxie, and I want to see them pull off a game. They are in every game. I think they've been blown out twice this year, but they're in the games that they're not supposed to be. And to lose those gut check time games on a field goal, a blown coverage, a penalty. It's those little tiny things. And I love MCDC. I think he's fantastic. I really enjoy him as a head coach. Like, I would, if I was not a Steelers fan, I would become a Lions fan for this season just to root for MCDC. Actually, if I wasn't a Lions fan, I'd probably be a Cardinals fan, to be quite honest with you guys. Because I do think I really enjoy watching Kyler Murray play. And I'm a big DeAndre Hopkins fan. And A.J. Green has always had my respect. I just think it's a good team. I really do. And beside the point. Getting off track here. Detroit Lions. I want to see them win a game. I can't wait for that celebration and that post-game press conference of MCDC when they win a game. Can't wait for that. And then the final division, as I mentioned a little bit ago, we have the Arizona Cardinals leading the NFC West. And I forgot because the Cardinals have had a bye week already. The Niners have had a bye week already. That the Seattle Seahawks, with their loss last night, actually dropped below the 49ers. So that's actually way different from last year then. The Niners were the worst team in the division last year. But Seattle won the division. Rams were number 2, and Cardinals were number 3. And now we're looking at Cardinals, Rams, Niners, Seahawks. Now, obviously, a lot of the, last couple losses had a lot to do with Geno Smith being quarterback instead of Russell Wilson. Some, not me, some have gone as far to say, it wouldn't have mattered. Russell Wilson wouldn't have beat the team wouldn't have won those games anyways. This was all on coaching. That's a matter of opinion. There's no way to know that for sure. There really is none. Because we have no idea how those games would have gone had Russell Wilson been there. Because we have seen games where the Seahawks were absolutely abysmal with Russell Wilson in there. And we've seen games where they just blow the doors off everybody. So it's hard to say. Do I think they stand a better chance of winning with Russell Wilson in there? Absolutely. But now we're seeing a lot of people calling for, well, maybe we should be in a rebuild, which means trade Russell Wilson. No, that tune changed fast. Yeah, he's got a mega deal. That's a big cap hit. But I got people, I listened to the radio this morning, social media, TV. People are calling for Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner to get shipped out of town. Shipped out. Move them. Get them out of here. That's what people are saying. I'm not. But that's what people are saying. Jamal Adams, get him out of here. Pete Carroll, get him out of here. Ken Norton. Well, people have been calling for Ken Norton to get fired for a couple seasons now. But they're talking, move them all. Get them all out of here. And I'm just like, you have a franchise quarterback who hasn't even been with the team for 10 years yet. He's literally in his 10th season. He hasn't even completed his 10th season yet. And you want to ship him out? This is a guy that won you a Super Bowl, took you to another Super Bowl, and has won countless games, broken records, set records, brought the team back from bad defensive play to lead the offense to wins, and they want to ship him out? They're talking about Atlanta, New Orleans, Chicago, New York. What? I get it, yeah. There was talk about it this last spring, that Russell Wilson wanted to go to Chicago. Which, find me a soundbite or an interview where Russell Wilson ever said that. Now his camp said that, but what the hell's his camp? What, his buddy that hangs out with him once a month goes, yeah, I think Russell Wilson would like to be in Chicago. A reporter runs with it. It's just like the people who are saying, oh, the deal with Miami and Deshaun Watson's almost done. BS. We're going to get into that here in a minute. Sticking to the Russell Wilson side for a minute. Does Sierra, his wife, have a lot of say in where he goes? Because he has a no-trade clause. Yeah, absolutely she does. Happy wife, happy life. We all know that. And would Chicago make sense? Yeah. Would Atlanta make sense? Yeah. She's from the Atlanta area, I'm pretty sure. New Orleans, they've lobbied for him. The mayor of New Orleans last year was trying to move on from Drew Brees in favor of Russell Wilson. Now, would Russell Wilson be a massive upgrade over Jameis Winston? Yeah. Jameis Winston has looked good at times and looked bad at times. And Jameis is having another issue kind of similar to Carson Wentz where sometimes he's trying to do too much. But Russell Wilson, New York, Chicago, sure. But Seattle fans calling for that. Now, yeah, massive cap hit, gone. Chance to rebuild? Yeah. If Houston is asking for 3 first-rounders and 2 additional picks for Deshaun Watson, what do you give up for Russell Wilson? Just ridiculous. So, Abel says, Vegas radio had Wilson being traded to Vegas because his wife was going to get a residency. And that, again, thank you for bringing that up because I don't hear that because I don't live in Vegas. But I guarantee you go to any city in the country and you're going to hear stuff like that. And it's all rumor mill. It's all rumor mill. There is very little shred of any truth to any of that stuff. All that is somebody making something up for a click or for a retweet. I could go on Twitter right now and say, I heard Russell Wilson's going to get traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I could say that, and I bet you some clown would take that and say, sources say Russell Wilson going to the Steelers. Because he read it on social media. Now, all right, so we're past that. Let's move over to Deshaun Watson. The last week, there's been a lot of talk of Deshaun Watson being traded in multiple different scenarios. Deshaun Watson straight up to Miami. Deshaun Watson in a 3-way trade with Miami and Washington. Some beat writer in Houston. My inside sources with the Texans say the deal is almost done to Miami. Oh, it's so almost done that it has now been 5 days and nothing has been done. I've heard of 3-way trades and 4-way trades and him going to Denver, him going to Miami. Oh, Miami's not backing down. Him going to Washington. Washington. Get out of here. The I don't remember what the guy's name is from Houston, but that's a bunch of crap. He's just trying to drum stuff up. He probably got a call from that clown that moved over there from well, most of them came over from the Patriots, but Easterby saying, "Hey, we need to drum up some phone calls. We're not getting anything going on this Deshaun Watson trade because they're literally asking for 3 first-rounders and 2 additional picks. That is their goal." And they're saying, "Oh yeah, well, you know, we got a good offer from Miami." And then Miami's turning around and they're just like, "What are you guys talking about?" And then this guy from Houston chimes in and goes, "Oh, my sources are saying Washington's involved in this as well. It's going to be a 3-way trade. Tua goes to Washington, Deshaun Watson goes to Miami, and multiple picks get sent back to Houston from both teams." And Washington representatives come out and say, "We're not, what? We haven't been involved in any of this. Why are we getting thrown in here?" All probably because some beat writer from Washington got called up and went, God, that would be awesome if we could get Tua. Oh, that'd be so cool. And all of a sudden, more rumors come out. So here is the stupidity level of all of this. And it drives me crazy listening to this. And I put a tweet about this the other day. Right now, there are 22 allegations against Deshaun Watson for sexual harassment, sexual misconduct, multiple things. Okay? As well as a federal investigation being added into this for potential sex trafficking. That he potentially is involved in that. Potentially. Okay? Right now, Deshaun Watson is not on the commissioner's exempt list. And the only reason that he's not is because he is not going to play for Houston. He said it at the end of last season. He would never take another snap for Houston again. And the team knows full well they're not going to put him on the field. Because the team has talked to Goodell about this. And Goodell's not going to waste the paperwork on the commissioner's exempt list filings if he doesn't have to. And he called and they talked to each other and they went, yeah, he's not going to play for us anyway, so you don't have to worry about it. Oh, so I don't have to file any paperwork. We don't have to do any of that stuff. He's not suspended. He's not on the commissioner's exempt list. You as a team, you are not going to put him on the field. He does not want to suit up for you anyways, so we're good. That is why he's not on the commissioner's exempt list. He is getting paid, and he is sitting out. Now, he's probably getting fined by the team, but his contract is pretty large, and he makes more than that anyways. So, if a team were to trade for him today, expecting him to be able to play, immediately following that trade and the approval of that trade, Roger Goodell would put him on the commissioner's exempt list. And every other team, every team for that matter, all 32 teams in the NFL know that. They know that. There is no way in hell Deshaun Watson steps on a football field with this investigation going on. Not going to happen. No way in hell. You've already seen what the NFL will do to bury anything with the Washington football team. They will sacrifice a coach's complete livelihood and career in John Gruden and throw him to the wolves. And then try to get reporters in the fire. Try to throw reporters into the fire. Just to save their owners. Goodell came out today and said he believes Dan Snyder has paid has been reprimanded enough that he's I don't even remember the term. God, how did they word that? Just the stupidest thing. I was so mad when I read this. He's been held accountable, is the way it was worded. I think he's been held accountable for it, and the organization has been held accountable. And they're not going to make any other information public. So you've seen what the NFL will do to protect the shield. Therefore, Deshaun Watson would never be allowed to step on a football field if traded. Not going to happen. So, Dave, they don't have to be charged. They don't have to be charged. Ben Roethlisberger was put on the commissioner's exempt list during the investigation as well. He was never charged. And when a player gets put on the commissioner's exempt list, it's before they're charged. They're put on the commissioner's exempt list to give time for the investigation. So, the whole reason why he's not on it is because he's not going to play for Houston anyways. If he gets traded, instantly, he's going to go instantly on the commissioner's exempt list. Multiple players, you can look this up. Multiple players get put on the commissioner's exempt list before they're ever charged with anything. They get put on the commissioner's exempt list during investigations, during all the when all the stuff starts to come out. They're put on that commissioner's exempt list for that reason before anything happens. And that's so the NFL can say, we're taking action. We're keeping a player from being on the field because they don't want any negative publicity for a player that's playing in that game. Now, once it's all over, whole different story. But no GM in the NFL is going to give up multiple first-round picks for a player that may or may not be able to play when this investigation's over. Because we have, if he's traded before the investigation's over, he'll get put on the exempt list. If he's traded before he's charged with anything, he gets put on the commissioner's exempt list. If he's guilty of anything, he's going to miss time. Because he'll be suspended, or he'll be put in jail, or whatever the case may be. So, to put a GM in the position of making a trade for, yes, is Deshaun Watson an extremely talented football player? Absolutely is. Does he make any team in the NFL better by stepping on the field playing for them? Yes, he does. Except for, maybe Green Bay or Tampa Bay or, one of the other teams that have an elite quarterback currently. Does he make any other team in the NFL a better team by playing for him? Yes. Yes, he does. Is it worth your job to give up your future next 3 first-round picks and 2 additional picks, or potentially the quarterback situation you currently have going on, or whatever other players you're going to add into the mix? Is it worth it? Is it worth your job to give that up for a player who could potentially be found guilty of sex trafficking and put in prison for 5 years? Is it worth your job as a GM, a multi-million-dollar a year job, I'm assuming? Is it worth your job as a GM to give up the future of your NFL franchise to get a guy who may not see the field for 2 years or may not see the field for 1 year? Is it worth it? No. That's fireable. Coming from somebody who owns a business, coming from somebody who's been a manager at a company, who has dealt with the financials, that's fireable. If I'm the owner of a team, does this sound great getting Deshaun Watson? Yeah. It does. If I'm the New York Jets, if I'm the trying to think of another good situation to put him in. If I'm the Chicago Bears, although I don't want to see him play for Matt Nagy. If I'm the New Orleans Saints, if I'm the Atlanta Falcons, if I'm the Carolina Panthers, does it sound good having Deshaun Watson as your quarterback? Yeah, it freaking does. It really does. But don't let that blind you into making a bad decision about a quarterback who may not ever even be able to step on the field for you. Could they do conditional? They probably could, but I highly doubt Houston signs off on that. Because Houston either is going to keep him under contract or they're going to get guaranteed, because this may not get cleared up. And here's the thing. If Deshaun Watson does not get cleared of all of this by next year's draft, then what's the condition? So that's the problem. A federal investigation and an investigation into 22 allegations of sexual harassment, sexual assault, sexual misconduct is not going to be cleared up by next year's draft. It's really not. This has already been going on since January. It will not be cleared up by January of this year. It will not be cleared up by May of next year. highly unlikely. Unless the NFL decides to just sweep it under the rug because it was fabricated to begin with, because of the timing of the whole thing. I'm not convinced that Deshaun Watson's guilty. I'm really not. I'm also not convinced he's innocent, but I'm not convinced he's guilty. I hope that, whoever's guilty in this whole thing, I hope that comes out and that person is punished appropriately. Absolutely, 100%. But the timing of the entire situation seems a little odd to me. I don't like how it all happened. How it all just so happened to come out right after he was adamant about being done with the team. And then all of a sudden, boom, five allegations within 2 days. Oh, 5 more the next week. Oh, next month, 10 more. Something's fishy. So, again, if he's guilty, fullest extent punishment. Yes. But again, I don't think the investigation is wrapped up by draft time. And so then what do you do? Because let's say, just for humor's sake, let's say Tua, Deshaun Watson trade multiple picks. How do you put a conditional pick if he's not even cleared to play? Because the investigation hasn't been fully taken place. Now if you're Miami, you don't have the guy you traded for, and you also don't have the guy who you drafted the year before in the first round. So you have nothing. And you don't have a pick. Because it's technically tied up in limbo. So I don't know how you work that. I mean, yeah, I guess you could be like, oh, yeah, okay. We don't give up our first-round pick. Actually, Miami doesn't even have a first-round pick. Do they? Don't the Eagles have Miami's first-round pick? I'm pretty sure the Eagles have Miami's first-round pick. Or the Jets, maybe. It's the Eagles. Yeah, the Eagles have Miami's first-round pick. So, Miami doesn't even have a 22 first-round pick to offer. Unless, did they get the Eagles? No, the Eagles have their own. Oh, here we go. Miami got the Niners first-round pick in the trade for Trey Lance. So, Miami is going to have the Niners first-round pick. So, then Miami could trade that pick. But again, you're basing it off of where the 49ers fall. But if you don't have Watson and you don't have Tua and you don't know if you're ever going to get Watson and you've already given up Tua, what do you do? Let's say the Niners end up with a top 5 pick. Let's say the Niners end up a 5-win team. Actually, that would be like a top 7 pick. Do the Dolphins then draft a quarterback in the anticipation that Deshaun Watson is not going to be back? And that's, again, this is fireable offense decisions. And I think I got something playing, and I'm sorry for that, guys. That's fireable offense decisions. If I'm the boss and a GM pulls that trade, they're gone. I would fire them immediately. That is not okay. You just mortgaged our future on a whim, on a hope and a prayer, on a Hail Mary that this guy's going to get cleared. And even if he gets cleared, it might be a year till he gets cleared. He could end up in this limbo for another season. Imagine if this investigation goes through the 22 season and Deshaun Watson hasn't seen the field in 2+ years. We're talking Mike Vick situation here. And there's no charge that gets brought up at that point. He's just not able to play or not gonna play. So, again, this doesn't make any sense. It would not make any sense for an NFL team to throw that out there. And so I struggle with all these beat reporters, all these insiders that say they're talking to people in the Houston organization. Yeah, you know what? They're probably getting some leaks from the damn equipment manager, the janitor, the water boy, the strength coach, somebody who has no say in anything decision-wise. Inside source? Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're with the team. Do they actually know what's going on? No, not one bit. And they're trying to drum this up to get other teams to go, oh, man, well, they must know something, because if they're serious about making an offer, maybe that means that Deshaun Watson is going to get cleared here very soon. And they're hoping that somebody bites, and nobody's going to. Nobody's going to, because anybody can literally call up Roger Goodell and go, yo, bro, anything been said about this Deshaun Watson thing? Are we getting clear of this, or what's the scoop? And Goodell, who has to literally, legally give them the information, because they could literally call up the league, or they could call up the authorities. It's public information, and go, what are we looking at? And Goodell has to tell them that, because I don't think Goodell wants to sugarcoat this thing either. I don't think Goodell wants to be playing devil's advocate here. He's just going to go, wouldn't touch that with a 25-foot pole if I were you. It's not smart. And for Houston's not coming out and saying, we're going to clear Deshaun Watson, because that's going to make them look stupid. They're not going to come out and say, oh, Deshaun Watson is there's nothing wrong. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. And that's not going to happen. So you just got to sit and wait. There's no information coming out. No team's making that trade. It's not happening. It's not happening. All right, I missed a bunch of comments here, guys, so I'm going back a little bit. So we were talking about baseball, and Josh comments and says, people have forgiven their cheating spouse faster than people forgive the Astros, which is funny. LeVar tried to tell everybody, and we were talking about Lonzo Ball, easy on the demise of the Seahawks backup quarterback. Yeah, doesn't matter. Still the demise of them for the season. It's just like I called it with the Steelers this year. Got to go find the tweet poll you did about MVP before the season and compare to midseason. Absolutely, go ahead and find that. Not in the exempt. We already covered that. Could they do a conditional first-round pick? I want to see it just for the drama and the fallout. Oof. The fallout would be horrible. That would be absolutely soul-crushing. The fan base for whatever team he goes to that he can't play for, they're going to be calling for people's heads. We're talking about calling for ownership heads. That's the level this could go to for allowing that to happen, to be quite honest. All right, so one thing I wanted to get into tonight was some statistical category leaders after 7 weeks. And one thing that I'm enjoying with this is how bass-backwards this year has been for the most part. We have a 44-year-old quarterback leading the league in passing yards, in touchdowns, in, I think, completion percentage, or he's right up there at least. He's up there. And this is hilarious. Tom Brady, who I've never been a fan of Tom Brady in my entire life. I will say that right now. Honest truth. I've never been a fan of Tom Brady. I'm not becoming a fan, but I'm enjoying Tom Brady more. Now, the last couple of years with the Patriots, you got to see his sense of humor come out a little bit more, and I've been enjoying that. Kind of like the Peyton Manning thing. I hated Peyton Manning as a Colts quarterback. Hated him. but I enjoyed his commercials. Thought he was funny as hell. I got a kick out of him. I'm seeing more Tom Brady, and I'm liking it. And I'm starting to actually, I don't know if root for would be a good word or phrase, but I'm not hating the success of Tom Brady. We'll say that. I'm warming up to him. Warming up to Tom Brady. This sumbitch is leading the NFL in passing yards and touchdowns through 7 weeks. 2,275 yards passed for through 7 weeks. All right. I'm going to do some quick math. He is on pace for 5,500 passing yards if he keeps his pace. 5,525 passing yards if he keeps his pace. He's got 21 touchdowns on the season, averaging 3 per game. He's on pace for 51. This is insanity. So Tom Brady's sitting at number 1. Derek Carr at number 2, just 6 yards behind him. And Matt Stafford is about 100 yards behind them. Matt Stafford. Patrick Mahomes at number 4, Kyler Murray at number 5. Now let's look at touchdowns. Obviously, as I mentioned, Tom Brady at number 1. We could see multiple quarterbacks pass for 50 touchdowns this year. Think about that. Tom Brady at number 1 with 21 touchdowns thrown. Matthew Stafford, 19. Now, here's one thing I want you to take into consideration. Interceptions thrown. Tom Brady, just 3. Matthew Stafford, who happens to be third in passing yards, just 4. 4 interceptions thrown through 7 weeks with 19 touchdowns. And then the number 3 touchdown leader, Patrick Mahomes. Not surprising, but he's sitting right there. Kyler Murray at number 4 and Joe Burrow at number 5. Now, Burrow and Mahomes have each thrown 8 interceptions, and Mahomes had a little bit of fumbleitis this year. 11 total turnovers. But we got a tight race up there. Now, I'm going to throw in the towel on my pick for who I believed was going to lead the league in touchdown passes, all because I thought he could potentially do it this year with the weapons that he was given, and it has gone quite the other direction. Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill is down past number 20 with 7 touchdowns thrown. 7. Way behind. It would take injuries to 20-something quarterbacks. Multiple weeks missed for him to catch up. Or he'd have to go on a 5 touchdown per game tear. I don't see that happening. Tannehill, not happening. So, in comparison to fantasy stats, let's look at where some fantasy rankings sit. As we mentioned, Tom Brady is leading both in passing yards and passing touchdowns. Well, yeah, he's sitting in first place in fantasy points too. So, think about this. The guy who wasn't drafted in the first 5 picks for quarterbacks is leading fantasy football for quarterbacks. And not far behind him is Matthew Stafford, another quarterback who was not a top 5 quarterback picked. Matthew Stafford. Kyler Murray, in a lot of leagues, was a top 5 picked, and he's at number 3. Patrick Mahomes, who was a 1 or 2, is in 4th. And then Josh Allen, who was in the top 5, is in 5th. How many touchdowns does Russell Wilson have? 10. He has 10 touchdowns, 1 interception. So, top 5 quarterbacks drafted are really only repped by, well, Kyler, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson were the top 4 of the top 5 quarterbacks drafted. Russell Wilson was the other 5th, and Russell Wilson's not in the top. Ooh. Russell Wilson's number 21 in fantasy scoring. So, this is why I've said this time and time again about not drafting a quarterback in the first round, or excuse me, not drafting a quarterback in the first several rounds, because a lot of times they're hit or miss, but they're not that far off from each other anyways. Tom Brady, in the setup that we have on the league that I run, we have 226 points for Tom Brady. The number 5 quarterback is Josh Allen at well, actually, let's go number 4. Number 4, Patrick Mahomes, is only 20 points, 19 points behind him. 19 points separate 1 and 4. That's not that big of a gap, especially in the quarterback market, where you can literally have, like Joe Burrow, goes from 22 points one week to 40 points the next week. Can easily change. Now, let's move over to the running back position. And I know I don't have to tell you guys this, but Derrick Henry, if you are not enjoying what Derrick Henry is doing last year and this year, you don't like football. Get offended by it. Go for it. If you can't appreciate what Derrick Henry is doing right now on the ground in a pass-dominant game, you don't like football. Derrick Henry is almost 300 yards rushing more than the number 2. Jonathan Taylor is sitting at number 2 with 579 rushing yards. Derrick Henry has 869 rushing yards. Derrick Henry had his second worst rushing total of 7 straight weeks. Out of the last 7 weeks, he had his second worst rushing total this last week and still gained ground. Because Jonathan Taylor was the number 4. So he climbed up over Nick Chubb and Ezekiel Elliott because neither of them played this week. Derrick Henry went from 260 yards over the number 2 to 290 yards up over the number 2. Crazy. Derrick Henry is having a special year. He's on pace for 2,200 yards and 28 touchdowns. He has 10 rushing touchdowns. And by the way, he threw a touchdown the other day. Yeah. Jonathan Taylor, as I said, sitting at number 2, 579 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns. We're going to cover the yards first. Joe Mixon sitting at number 3, 40 yards behind him at 539. Nick Chubb and Ezekiel Elliott right there at 523 and 521 respectively. Lamar Jackson is sitting at number 6 with 480, a quarterback at number 6. Now let's look at touchdowns. Rushing touchdowns. This is not accounting for receiving touchdowns. Rushing touchdowns only. Obviously, as I said, Derrick Henry is sitting at number 1. James Conner, the former Pittsburgh Steeler who now signed with the Arizona Cardinals, has 6 rushing touchdowns. 6. And half the rushing yards of Derrick Henry. 6 rushing touchdowns. James Conner is on pace to have a career year in touchdowns. And he's not even the starting running back. Then Jonathan Taylor with 5. Along with James Robinson. We got a lot at 5. Holy crap. Jonathan Taylor, James Robinson, Josh Jacobs, Jalen Hurts, Kareem Hunt, Damian Harris, Zeke. Sam Darnold has 5. Sam Darnold has 5 freaking rushing touchdowns. I'd expect Kyler to have 5. Jalen, Lamar. Sam freaking Darnold. Yeah. Weird. All right, so now let's compare that to fantasy production. Do you guys need to guess who number one fantasy running back is? I mean, it's tough. I know it's really tough to guess who it is. I'll tell you anyways. It's Derrick Henry. Shocker. I know. In the way our league is set up, he has 201 fantasy points. He has more fantasy points than all but 4 quarterbacks. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. He is averaging 28.7 fantasy points per week. Averaging. Number 2 is Jonathan Taylor. No shock, because he's also catching balls out of the backfield as well. 138 fantasy points. Here's one that I bet you guys didn't expect. Number 3 in fantasy production in Sports Stuff Hub Fantasy Football League, DeAndre Swift. Really? Didn't see that coming. Honestly, didn't see that coming. And then number 4, Austin Eckler. And by the way, DeAndre Swift is only 1 point behind Jonathan Taylor. Taylor, 138. Swift, 137. And even with Eckler's injury issues that he's had, is sitting at number 4 with 125. Najee Harris, the rookie for the Steelers, at 121. I'm impressed. But Derrick Henry, savage. Wide receivers. Let's start with receptions, because most people play in a PPR league anyways. Receptions. Who's leading the NFL in receptions this year? Oh, if you guys haven't heard of this guy by the name of Cooper Kupp, learn some football. Underrated wide receiver. 56 receptions through 7 games. 56. Didn't he just tie a record for most through 7 games? It's gotta be. First 7 games of the season, 56. Gotta be a record. 809 yards and 9 touchdowns. Leads all three categories. All right, so receptions. Let's start there though. Kupp, number 1, 56. Tyreek and Devontae both tied at 52. And Tyreek's going to pull away here because Devontae's not going to be playing on Thursday Night Football. DJ Moore from Carolina at 46. With Travis Kelce, the tight end from Kansas City, at number 5 with 45. Tied with Brandon Cooks. Yards, as I mentioned, Cooper Kupp, number 1. Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, yes, the rookie at LSU. Former teammate of his quarterback, Joe Burrow. Former teammate of last year's wide receiver standout rookie, Justin Jefferson. Imagine Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase on the same team. Crap. But anyway, Jamar Chase, 754 yards. I'm sorry, but didn't a lot of people say that he can't catch a football? Wasn't that the narrative during preseason? Was that Jamar Chase couldn't catch a ball to save his life? I literally got messages on eBay. People trying to lowball me on cards because he couldn't catch a ball. Literally told me that. And here he is, second in the NFL in yardage. Huh. Amazing how that works. And he's got 6 touchdowns to boot. Jamar Chase. Now, we can tackle this right now. Why not? Let's address the elephant in the room. I have no problem admitting when I got something wrong, when I got a take wrong. I said it after the draft, and I said it all pre-draft, that the Bengals needed to shore up their offensive line. Do not take Jamar Chase. Take Penei Sewell. And look at what Jamar Chase has done. Now, I will say that they did improve their offensive line a little bit, yes. But they've also played some teams that could not get a pass rush on them. And I think the Bengals are going to struggle against a good pass rush. I think they will. Are they playing very good right now? Absolutely. But I think they're still going to struggle against a good pass rush. The Ravens couldn't get a good pass rush on them, and they just picked them apart and obliterated the Ravens. It was so fun to watch. I actually enjoyed that. Now, can Jamar Chase be that game-changing wide receiver that they haven't had since A.J. Green's prime? Yes, he can. Let's just hope that their offensive line is up to the task this year. So far, they've done really well. But Joe Burrow has been hit a fair amount. No lie. Dave says, Chase actually admitted he had a hard time adjusting to no white stripes on the football. Correct. He said that in preseason. He did. He's used to seeing that white stripe come at him. And it's the same type of thing I said a couple years ago with wide receivers adjusting to a right-handed quarterback versus a left-handed quarterback. You know, when you had an example, Ben Roethlisberger is a right-handed quarterback. Antonio Brown, one of the best pass catchers in the NFL. Antonio Brown caught passes from Ben left to right, everywhere, pulled him in. Michael Vick comes in when Ben Roethlisberger was hurt. Michael Vick's left-handed. Same routes, same everything. Ball has a different trajectory, has a different spin, has a different arc, has a different angle, has a different nose point to it. Antonio Brown dropped sure-handed passes. We're talking between the numbers. We're talking his traditional diving catches that he used to make. The ones that he would slide down and catch, that he would haul into the breadbasket. And he dropped a bunch of those from Mike Vick. Why? Adjustment to the new format. Same thing with the NFL. Some receivers struggle because they're so used to a certain type of ball from college. They get to the NFL, takes some adjustment period. But you know what? Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow are good enough friends, and they know each other well enough that they worked on it. And now you're seeing the fruits of that labor. Now, some players can't get past it. It takes the starting quarterback coming back, in the case of Mike Vick and Ben Roethlisberger, and then Antonio Brown can go back to thriving. Because you don't want to change what you're used to. Because when the starting quarterback comes back, then you're going to struggle with your starting quarterback again. But that happens. It's just like when Steve Young came in. Steve Young was a left-handed quarterback. Anytime any other quarterback would come in relief of Steve Young, wide receivers would struggle. Not many people take that into consideration. And it's something that needs to be looked at more often. Anyway, yardage. Devontae Adams right behind Jamar Chase with 744 yards. But again, Jamar Chase is going to pull away because Devontae Adams is going to miss this week. So Devontae Adams is not only going to miss this week, but then he still has a bye week coming up. Even though Devontae Adams missed a game last year and still crushed it last year. Deebo Samuel at number 4. 100 yards behind Devontae, but 648. And then Tyreek Hill at number 5, 641. Looking at the touchdown leaders, the Tutter leaders. Cooper Kupp at 9. Told you he was leading all 3 categories. DeAndre Hopkins, Nuke, at 7, tied with Mike Evans after Mike Evans' massive 3-tutter day. 7. Mike Williams from the Chargers, after a bye week, is still sitting at number 4, tied at 6 with DK Metcalf, Jamar Chase, Marquise Brown. That lineup. And then a surprising CJ Uzomah. Uzma, I think is how it's actually pronounced, from Cincinnati, who has been a very big target for Joe Burrow coming out of tight end. 17 receptions, 5 of which for touchdowns. That's crazy. All right, so let's look at some fantasy points. For wide receivers, obviously, Cooper Kupp leading the charge with 200 fantasy points. And again, this is the Sports Stuff Hub League format, which we have bonus points for 40-plus yards, 40-plus yard scores and 50-plus yard scores, as well as bonus points for reaching 100 receiving yards and 200 receiving yards. So there's bonus points in a lot of different ways. Jamar Chase sitting at number 2 with 163. Tyreek Hill at number 3 with 154. Devontae Adams at number 5 with 147. And Deebo Samuel at number 5 with 141. Sorry, Devontae's at 4. Tyreek's at 3. I skipped 4. Yeah. Cooper Kupp leading the charge. While we're over here, we're going to switch over to tight ends real quick because we covered those in the wide receivers anyways. Now, we have Travis Kelce sitting at number 1 with 124 fantasy points. Mark Andrews from Baltimore at 110 with number 2. Mike Gesicki, Miami, number 3 with 91. Kyle Pitts with his onslaught the last 2 weeks, sitting at number 4 with 86 points. And then TJ Hawk out of Detroit, number 5. Hawkinson, number 5 with 85 points. And right behind him is Dawson Knox out of the Bills with 84, with Darren Waller, who missed last week and potentially going to miss this week with 82. There's a lot of closeness going on right here. Now, I will say that Gronk missing the last 3 weeks has really shook up the top, because Gronk was on pace to have a resurgence here. And Gronk having a cracked rib, a broken rib, and a punctured lung and missing 3+ weeks really hurt that. Gronk still managed 57 fantasy points and is still sitting in the top 15. He comes back, he could end up climbing right back into that. He had a 29, get a load of this, first 3 weeks of the season, 29 points in the opener, 19 points in week 2, and 9 points in week 3 when he got hurt. 29, 19, 9. Hopefully it goes back the other way. So, let's look at overall, and let's look at just overall points. As I mentioned this before, just to ensure what we're talking about here. Top 4 positions. Top 4 positions are quarterback. Top 4 scorers, excuse me. Brady, Stafford, Murray, Mahomes, top 4. But here we go. Derrick Henry is literally the number 5th. And Cooper Kupp behind him by 1 point. Where was Cooper Kupp drafted in most drafts? Let's look. Derrick Henry, we all know, was a top 5, top 4. In our draft, he was a 4th round pick. That's probably about right. I would guess right in that 3rd, 4th, 5th round. Wouldn't shock me one bit. Let's hop over to one of the other leagues real quick that I run, and let's take a look at that. Why not? Let's see if it matches up. We got to get going here pretty soon. Cooper Kupp. 5th round in this league. And that was an auto draft selection, by the way. I remember that pick. Let's look at league number 3. Where was Kupp drafted? in this league. 4th. Okay. So 2 fourths and a 5th. And he was auto-drafted in the one where he was a 5th. That's crazy. And he's leading all wide receivers. And he's 6th in overall scoring when you take all positions into account. Now, if you're looking at kickers, I know everybody likes the sexy pick of Justin Tucker, but Nick Folk this year has been money. New England. He's been doing it. Defenses this year. Bills at number 1, Cardinals at number 2, Bucks at number 3. Now, again, this is by the Sports Stuff Hub League fantasy scoring rules. And I was nervous. I picked the Bucks, and I was nervous after week 1 where I would have had more points if I would have not started anybody. They were -3 fantasy points against Dallas in the season opener. And then they rebounded with a big 19-point week. And then they went right back to the negatives against the Rams with -3 points. But then since then, 13, 10, 6, and 19 last week. 19 fantasy points against the Bears, only giving up 3 points. It was all yardage. That's the only reason. They would have had 25 points for me, but they gave up some yardage. They had 3 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries, 4 sacks, and 3 points allowed. The Bills, leading right now, number 1 overall, 4 fantasy points in week 1. 20, 11, 22, 17, and then goose-egged against Tennessee because they lost to Tennessee. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So that's what we're looking at in fantasy football this year. And those are your leaders in statistical categories as well. I'm just curious. Let's hop over to tackles real quick. I want to see who's leading the league in tackles. Combined tackles. Denzel Perryman with 81 for the Raiders. Bobby Wagner at number 2 with 79. So let's brief sidebar. Raiders. So we all know John Gruden part ways, all the crap that came out. Okay. Derek Carr comes out on national television and tells everybody that, yeah, he's not happy what he said, but he loved John Gruden. And since the John Gruden departure, the Raiders are 2-0. Since the John Gruden departure, the Raiders seem more in tune and playing harder. And they have a special teams coach as the interim. Bisaccia. And he's got this team rolling. So the question is, was John Gruden holding the team back? Is Bisaccia really who they should have had at head coach the whole time? Is Bisaccia a better coach than John Gruden? Or are they just motivated right now differently? Is his first name Tony? Raiders head coach. Is it Tony Bisaccia? Rich Bisaccia. Rich Bisaccia. That's his name. Rich Bisaccia. Now, the questions are going to come up. Does he deserve the full-time gig? If the Raiders go to the playoffs this year, hell, if the Raiders win the AFC West, do they keep Bisaccia as the head coach? something to think about. All right. We have a box to open tonight. Oh. Boy, do we ever. We have a box. Let me get this camera set up. We have a box. I gotta change this over. Alright. Nope, just dropped something. No! Dropped the card. Alright, let me get my screens changed around here so that you guys are looking at the right one. Okay. Mosaic Baseball. Now, I wanted to do this one because we have a break of this tomorrow night. We have a half case, 6 boxes, that we are breaking tomorrow night. Random team format. Get your spots on sportstuffhub.com/breaks. We have a big night planned for tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is also the last night to get eligible, to get qualified for the loyalty break for the month of October. I sent out an email to anybody who's been in a break so far, ever with me, and I announced this month's loyalty rewards break is Panini Recon Basketball. Oh, but it doesn't end there. It's free. Free fitty. Free fitty. Zero cost to you. If you qualify for the loyalty rewards break for this month, it is free. You will automatically be given a spot. You don't have to ask for it. You don't have to sign up for it. If you qualify for the loyalty rewards break for this month, you're in. Now, you can decline, sure. But unless you do, you're in. And how you qualify is you join 3 separate breaks throughout a month. And tomorrow night's the last night to get qualified. So if you're not already qualified, you have to join 3 breaks, or you have to just finish it off. Free. F-R-E-E. Free. Recon Basketball. But tomorrow night we have Mosaic Baseball. It's a 6-box half case with a TriStar autographed baseball random team. We also have a baseball mixer. 2021 Mosaic Baseball. 1 box. 2021 Topps 5-star baseball. 1 box. And a TriStar autographed baseball. 1. Random division style. We have a football break. Absolute football. 1 box. We're kaboom hunting. Kaboom hunting. 1 box. Plus a TriStar autographed mini helmet. Random division format. And our 4th break of the night. Hang on, Abel. I'll mention that in a second. Our 4th break of the night, we are bringing back Onyx Basketball. 6-box. Thank you to Eloy for the suggestion, or for the idea. Random player break. 15 spots. Each spot gets 5 players from the checklist. Each spot gets 5 players from the checklist. 6 box. That's our 4 breaks for tomorrow night. Abel asks, did Panini miss a release? How did we get to Recon if they did not release Panini General Ledger? I get what you're picking up. I get what you're putting down there, Abel. That was funny. I get a kick out of that. Oh, government jokes. Har, har, har. All right. It's time for some Mosaic Baseball. Yes, Dave. 3 autographs per box. And look for the ultra rare, hobby exclusive, stained glass, and overdrive. No, Taylor, I did not make it down there. I did not. And after an hour passed, I didn't bother because I figured it was all going to be gone anyways. So, no, I did not get down there. But thank you for the heads up. Mosaic Baseball. Get your spots at sportstuffhub.com/breaks. No worries, Taylor. I appreciate the thought. I appreciate the heads up. I was in the middle of getting some stuff done, and by the time I finished it up, I was going to head down there, and then I saw the time, and I was like, oh, it's been an hour. No way there's still product there. All right, so here is Mosaic Baseball. Looks strikingly similar to Mosaic Baseball, or football and basketball this last year. Buster Posey, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Dustin May, Cody Bellinger, Jeff McNeil, Yadi Molina, Javier Baez, Zach Plisak, Daniel Johnson, rookie. Daniel Johnson, rookie. David Peterson, rookie. Jonathan Stever, rookie. And we get our first color. Hyunjin Ryu, red. Not numbered. Pitcher. Framber Valdez, Mosaic. Technically, this parallel is called Mosaic. So this would be a Mosaic. Insert, Stairmasters, Lucas Giolito. And a Mosaic parallel of insert locked in. Shane, don't call me Justin Bieber. Brian Reynolds, DJ LeMahieu, Ivan Rodriguez, Kyle Hendricks, Dallas Keuchel, Hyunjin Ryu, Aaron Judge, rookie of Tariq Skubal, rookie Jared Kelenic for the old PC for me, Trevor Rogers, rookie, and our first auto is a gold Nolan Arenado. Gold out of 10. Nolan Arenado. 5 of 10. Boom. That's huge. Arenado. Gold auto out of 10. And we get a silver rookie of Ha-Seong Kim. And then a mosaic of Willie Stargell. Willie Stargell. I've heard his name pronounced so many different ways. Stargell, Stargell. I don't know if anybody's ever actually said it right. And then we get a 5-tool of Mike Trout. That's a cool insert. 5-tool Mike Trout. And then International Men of Mastery, Yolki Cespedes. What a box already. Holy crap. Trey Turner, Chapman, Sheffield, Gonzalez, Marco, Bundy, Mullins, Wainwright, Kaline, Spencer Howard rookie, Estevan Florial rookie, and we get a white Javi Baez out of 25. Javier Baez, 11 of 25, white. Holy cow, what a box. Unreal. Arenado gold auto out of 10. A Javi Baez out of 25. Crazy. Spencer Turnbull, silver. Brandon Crawford, Mosaic. And that looks cool. Eyes on the prize, Whitey Ford. And then a rookie debut of Evan White in the Mosaic parallel. This is a really good box already. Not even halfway into it. Zach Gallen, Bryce Harper, Clayton Kershaw, Luis Castillo, David Peralta, Ohtani, AJ Puck, Logan Gilbert rookie, Dalton Varsho rookie, Dalton Jeffries rookie, Christian Pache rookie, Jorge Mateo, Mosaic rookie parallel, Rowdy Tellez, Mosaic parallel, International Men of Mastery, Acuna, and Field Vision, Roberto Alomar. Dinelson Lamet, Christian Yelich, Roberto Alomar, Isaiah Kiner Falefa, Eloy Jimenez, Giancarlo Stanton, Brandon Lowe, Pedro Martinez, all-time greats insert, Isaac Paredes, rookie, Joe Adele, rookie, and our next auto, rookie autographs, Garrett Crochet for the Chi Sox. And then we get a silver Luke Voigt. Mosaic parallel Marcell Ozuna. Rookie debut Jake Cronenworth. And introductions, Mackenzie Gore. That's half the box right there. We've already got plenty in here to make this a good value. Garrett Cole, Michael Conforto, Rhys Hoskins, Maikel Franco, Alex Verdugo, Willie Castro, Didi Gregorius, Kybert Ruiz, Casey Mize, Travis Blankenhorn, all rookies, Will Crow rookie, Sherton Apostle Red rookie, not numbered, Ramael Tapia, Mosaic parallel, rookie debut Spencer Carlson, and Mosaic parallel, Eyes on the Prize, Buster Posey. Charlie Blackmon, Dominic Smith, Sonny Gray, Noah Syndergaard, Nicholas Castellanos, Brandon Crawford, Marcell Ozuna, Willie Stargell. Ryan Weathers, rookie. Joey Bart, rookie. Jared Oliva, rookie. Silver, Matt Olson. Hanser Alberto, Mosaic. Locked in insert, DJ LeMahieu. Jazz Chisholm, International Men of Mastery. Marcus Semien, Jordan Alvarez, Brandon Woodruff, Kyle Lewis, Luis Severino, Miguel Cabrera. All-time greats, Kirby Puckett. Rookie, Luis Gonzalez. Rookie, Pavin Smith. Rookie, Shane McClanahan. Blue, rookie, Daniel Johnson. Numbered out of 99. Silver, Will Myers. Mosaic Parallel, Aaron Nola. Eyes on the Prize, Phil Rizzuto. And Stairmasters, Mosaic Parallel, Randy Big Unit Johnson. Tim Anderson, Jose Abreu, Kyle Freeland, Max Kepler, Vladdy Guerrero Sr., John Means, Jose Ramirez, Josh Hader. Josh Fleming, rookie. Sherton Apostle, rookie. Christian Javier, rookie. All-time greats, Mike Piazza, Mosaic Parallel. Mike Trout, Mosaic Parallel. Rookie debut, Tristan McKenzie. And Field Vision, Francisco Lindor. And the last pack. J.D. Martinez, Luke Voigt, Matt Olson, Nick Solik, Ken Griffey Jr., Pete Alonso, Shogo Akiyama, which, by the way, we should have one more auto. Sam Huff, rookie. Ryan Mountcastle, rookie. All-time greats, Sandy Koufax. Rafael Marchand, rookie. And our last auto is Adonis Medina, rookie autograph. Jacob deGrom, Mosaic. Garrett Cole, Stairmasters. And introductions, Bobby Witt Jr. So, our biggins, our autos. Adonis Medina, rookie auto. Garrett Crochet, rookie auto. And our big gold Nolan Arenado out of 10. And then we got the Javi Baez white out of 25. That was our great box. Yes, Taylor, great box of 2021 Mosaic Baseball. All right. We're going to give some stuff away. 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 All right. One of the prize packs is going to be the Mike Trout Duo. You're going to get both the 5-tool and the Mosaic Parallel. And I think the 5-tool might be a hobby exclusive. Maybe not. something to say. All right. So the Mike Trout and the Javi Baez. We're going to give away the Baez as well. Baez is going to be the main giveaway. And then the Trout duo is going to be the other prize. All right. Who do we all got in here still? Put your name on the board. Just put me in the chat if you want to be entered to win. Do we have multiple people in tonight? We had quite a few people on and off throughout the night. Taylor and David. Anybody else in? Shane is in. Perfect. Okay. Anybody else in? Abel. All right. Taylor. Miller. Shane. Abel. Anybody else? My jaw hurts. By the way, guys, I got my other 2 wisdom teeth pulled on Thursday. My bottom 2. I'm sore as hell. It hurts. Really freaking hurts. I'm surprised I made it 2 hours through the show. All right, so I think that's it. I forgot. I gotta... I gotta do the randomizer or the dice first. I'll put the names back here in a second in the same order. So this is how many times we're gonna roll. 8. So I gotta redo the names. Alright, so we're gonna randomize 8 times. Anybody else want in? Anybody else on that would like to be entered to win the Javi Baez out of 25 or the Mike Trout pair? We're going to get the randomizer going. Just type me into chat if you want entered. I'm going to give you about 5 more seconds. Oh, jaw. All right, here we go. Randomizing 8 times. Good luck, everybody. 1, 2, come on, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th and final. Abel taking home the Baez. Miller taking home the Trouts. There you go. Congratulations, guys. Whoo! Mosaic. I'm excited. See, that got me amped to rip tomorrow night. Like, I'm like, we need to get to this tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's going to be a lot of fun. All right. We're already over. It's 8:06 already. So I'm going to cut you guys out of here. I appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. And I will see everybody back here tomorrow night. For break night starting at 4 p.m. Pacific time here on YouTube. Go get your spots on the website sportstuffhub.com/breaks. Get into the 4 breaks we've got posted up there. Tomorrow night's going to be some fire. I'm telling you guys, it's going to be a big night. All right, I am getting out of here. David and Abel, I see you guys are working a trade potentially. Confirm with me on Twitter. Just send me a DM if you guys are for sure trading, because I'm signing off of this, and then once I sign off of this, the chat's gone. I want to make sure you guys get what's cards you're doing. So DM me on Twitter, both of you. All right. Have a good night, everybody. And if I don't see you tomorrow night on break night, I'll see you right here next week for Sports Stuff Hub Live. Possibly gonna have a guest next week. If not, you stare at me again. But potentially guest next week. All right. Have a good night, everybody, and stay safe out there.